when I started to think about the story of Barba Ensopada de Sangue, I realized that for a character that is going to this small town to investigate what happened to his grandfather and starts to interview and talk to the local population, it would be great for narrative purposes to have a character with this condition, because you create a lot of possibilities in dramatic situations. He will possibly not recognize people he cares about, people he loves, or he could not recognize people that are threatening him, that are a threat to him. So I decided to use this condition in this character, and in the end it became a very important aspect of the book. I think his obsession with his grandfather has to do with family. I mean, his family is coming apart. His father killed himself. He has a troubled relationship with his mother, which is not terrible, but it's not pleasant too. And his brother, his only brother, is married to his ex-girlfriend, which was very traumatic to him. So his family came apart. And in the moment his father tells him he's going to commit suicide, he tells this wonderful story about his grandfather, who was killed in mysterious circumstances in this small fisherman town in the end of the 60s. So, I mean, the character does not put it in that terms to himself, but he sees the grandfather, the story of the grandfather, as his final connection to his family, to find something, some deep connection, some meaning connection with his family, or what is left of his family. I think for the character, the dog is, he symbolizes his father. I wanted him to have the dog because I wanted to create this tension that the dog just cannot die no matter what happens, because his father is somehow living in his dog for the son. So the character is not thinking about this when he decides to take care of the dog instead of taking it to the veterinary to kill it. But I think subconsciously, that's what's moving him. I mean, how can he kill the dog if the dog was so important to his father and it represents the father to him now that the father is dead? So it's just obvious to him to take care of the dog and take it with him wherever he goes. And the life of the dog is threatened several times in the story. And I want to create this tension that for him and for the reader, the dog simply cannot die. If you see this novel from the point of view of the plot, it's not autobiographical. It really isn't. I mean, the main character may share some similar thoughts or worldviews with myself, but these are really exceptions. The story is fictional. The character is a professor of sports, of physical education. I mean, his family is completely different from mine. And he moved to Garopaba to do something completely different from me. But on the other hand, there are many things that are biographical, because the setting of the novel, mainly Garopaba, is a place where I lived myself for a year and a half, during which I was researching and trying to develop and imagine this novel. So, of course, the way I experienced the city of Garopaba was very important to create the setting of the book, and the way the main character perceives his surroundings, his relation to the sea. There is one very strong connection between the character and me, which is the swimming. I mean, one of my greatest passions in life is to swim, and especially swim in the sea, in the open sea. And that was something I could rarely do in my life because I was living in Porto Alegre or in São Paulo, which are big cities that are not so close to the sea. But one of the reasons I decided to live in Garopaba for a short period, was so I could wake up every day and swim in the ocean. So that's a personal interest, a personal passion, and I just transferred it to my character. Well, that's hard to do because the sea has so many meanings and significance in the novel. It's just all around. My character wakes up every day in the morning and he opens the window and he sees the ocean. It's right before his window. It influences practical life, his job, his feelings, his emotions. The sea is his greater connection to nature, and nature is very important to this character, to this person. He's a very quiet person. He's not antisocial or anything. He has friends, but he almost never speaks, and has a very rich interior life. So his connection to nature has a lot to do with that. He feels at ease and kind of fulfilled just being close to nature. And also there's one point in the book that the ocean is described as this wide open space that looks like an exit, something you could escape through, but it's actually the opposite. It's the most threatening and deadly of the environments for a human being.